Okay, guys, so I successfully passed Nursing 1, Fundamentals of Nursing, and I am going to make it into Nursing 2. So I am filming this video just to share with you guys how I was able to pass my Nursing 1 exams. So for me, going to nursing school, organization was the key. I have two separate binders. This is my nursing binder. I had to change my nursing binder from what I had originally bought. So the reason why I had to purchase a new binder was just because I needed more space. And this isn't really all of the PowerPoints because I had initially changed the way that I was studying time after time. So what I would do is I would print out the PowerPoints into 3 slides. On the right side, I would write my own notes. And when I was in lecture, what I would do is I'll bring a red pen and I would write anything that the professor wanted us to know for the exam. For me, using different color pens and highlighters really worked for my advantage. So aside from the PowerPoints, there are two other separate books that I purchased. So we have our Fundamentals of Nursing book and also our study guide. So with the Fundamentals of Nursing, what I would do is I would read the chapters, and what really stood out was the NCLEX questions on the back of each chapter. So what I would do is I would go over the questions and then I would read the rationales. So if I was getting questions wrong, as you could see, I would just drop it down and try to understand why I was getting those questions wrong. So this really helped me out when taking the exams. So another thing that I wanted to point out is the key terms. Before I would start reading, I would just try to figure out what the key terms meant, because that is basically like your bread and your pudding. And it also made me understand the chapter more clearly. So when I was done with the chapters, what I would do is I would go back in the study guide, and this study guide is really helpful because even though as nursing students I know it's a lot to read, and what could happen is that, let's say for example, I didn't have the opportunity to read a chapter, I could just go into my study guide and this will basically be like that blueprint for me. So with my book contained a serial code, and within the serial code, this is what I was basically using as well to help me study. There is more questions, and I could definitely say that this was an advantage to use for me because a lot of the questions on the exam, they were similar to what is on the point, because a lot of the definitions and things like that were in here. So this is just an example of how this looks. Apart from the book, I had to purchase a course point because I didn't know what was going to work for me and I didn't know what was not going to work for me. So I just wanted to be on my A game. And this includes Picnomic. I don't know if you guys are aware of Picnomic, but it's very, very good. It's definitely like a good tool to use. And there is also many questions that were included in the Prep U, and I'm just gonna share with you guys exactly how it looks. And this was also something that was very helpful for me on my downtime. Like, let's say if I had time on my phone. I wouldn't be on, all these other, I wouldn't be on social media. I would basically be doing my questions and things like that. So, as I had mentioned earlier, I do have two notebooks. This notebook right here is for my lab. I keep all of my lab work separate from my lecture work. Lab was pretty straightforward for me. Lab was more like you have to know your skills and you have to apply them. So it was more like watching videos and having PowerPoints. I would just read the PowerPoints, and what would happen is that the professors would show you exactly how to insert or how to osculate and how to do all of these different techniques. So I just wanted to share with you guys some helpful tips. There is an application, I believe is called Vital, and what this does is basically it contains your book, and just in case you don't really have time to read, it could actually read for you.
Stage 3 pressure injury, full thickness skin loss, full thickness loss of skin, in which adipose fat is visible in the ulcer and granulation tissue and epibole, rolled wound edges are often present. Slough and or eschar may be visible. The depth of tissue damage varies by anatomical location. Areas of significant adiposity can develop deep wounds. Undermining and tunneling may occur.
So as I continue further down along the nursing program, I realized that it was really safe for me to make folders of these PowerPoints. And before I would actually go into class, I would read the PowerPoints and know exactly what I was expecting. And this is actually helpful. This is something that I also reviewed prior to taking an exam because I felt like in the beginning I was all over the place, but then I realized that my professor's PowerPoints were important. The notes that I took in class were important, and going online and quizzing myself was really, really important. So I hope that this video helps you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it.